We're on page 9 of your paqueta. And guys, what we're going to do, what we're going to do today is, let's think real fast. It says, I can decompose a fraction. Guys, again, pre-calc gives us a lot of the building blocks for calculus and calc 2. This we will not decompose. We won't use partial fractions in calc 1. You will use it in calc 2 or 1152. So this is just a little building block. Miss Meister will be teaching it next semester, but you won't have to use partial fractions next year. But this is just going to be a little exposure to it. So it says, in order to figure out what fractions were added or subtracted to give an expression, you're like, what? What I'm going to say is it's like saying, you guys, what's 1/3 plus 3/4? Let's go ahead and add those up. What 12th plus what 12th would that be? What 12th plus what 12th? 4/12 plus 9/12 is 13/12. So what I'm saying here is this is going to be given. That's like me giving you this. And decomposing this says, hey, what 2 fractions do I add up to get that? And you're like, well, I don't know. So it's saying, hey, I've given you this expression. Which 2 partial fractions add up to give me this entire answer? That's what we're looking at today, okay? So when it says decomposing partial fractions, we just got to figure out what 2 things were added up to get us what they gave us of this initial question. So here we go. What this is called is decomposing the fraction into partial fractions. I got to break it down. What plus what got me this? And today I think you're going to be down with it. I really do. I think you're going to be down with it. Meaning, on this first one, we've got to figure out what fraction plus what fraction got us what they started with. And here's how we do it. To figure out what fraction, just break this guy apart. One denominator is going to be an x plus 3. Another denominator is going to be an x minus 3. So I'm going to put x plus 3 and x minus 3. And we don't know what the numerator is going to be. So guess what we're going to say? I don't know what's going to go up there. I'm going to call that A. I don't know what's going to go over there. I'm going to call that B. This is our setup. And now we're going to apply what we used yesterday. You guys, you agree fractions are capital G gross? Right. So what could I multiply this by to get rid of its fractions? Thanks, Brady. He's saying, all right, well, those denominators are an x plus 3 and an x minus 3. Brady, if I gave you 200 bonus points, what do I have to do to the others?
Give everybody else.
Yeah, so you guys, if I multiplied the first by x plus 3, x minus 3.
I think the only person that should be getting bonus points in this room is me right now.
Why you deserve it?
Wow.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you deserve it. That means
What's going to happen with this x plus 3 and this x minus 3? Yeah, so this kind of goes back to, guys, I'm not going to be ugly, meaning this will always cancel out with them, okay? You guys, what's going to cancel out over here? Yeah, x plus 3 is gone. What about over here?
bing bong.
X minus 3. Here's what I need you to do. When you simplify this, you guys, we actually do not distribute my A and my B. And I know you're like, wait, but yesterday we did. I'm going to show you why. Guys, what is left when I cancel stuff out?
Like a 9 minus 9x.
Equals.
Like an A, parenthesis, x minus 3. And the other one.
And the other one. There you go, Graham. Good boy.
Here's where it's going to be a little uncomfortable because you guys, you agree that we have no fractions left. We love that. But do you agree we also have 3 unknown values? X's, an A, and a B. Lots of unknowns. Here's where you get to be flexible. You guys, I want to solve for B. In order to solve for B, do you agree I got to get rid of my A? This is an uncomfortable part. You can make X anything you want. What do I need to make X so that my A's cancel out? So that I have no A's? 3. You guys, you have to come up with that on your own. And you're going to write that down. You're going to say, okay, if X is a 3, how did we get that? We wanted to have no A's. You guys, if X is a 3, we then go plug it in for every single X. When I plug in a 3 for every single X, we'd have 9 minus, pick up your pencil, 9 times 3. Yeah, I'm going to actually just plug in my 3 first just so we can see where I'm putting. I'm putting that 3 in for every single x. Are you going to need to write out this step when we get better at this? Certainly not.
I got a question. It's 3 minus.
Let's solve it, you guys. What's 9 minus 27? Negative 18 equals, how many A's would I have? None. How many B's would I have? 6 B's. Therefore, what is B? Perfect. So, what we just did is we solved for that B. This is huge. Now I got to solve for A. What am I going to want to choose for my X so that I have no B's? Negative 3. You guys, let's go do it. If my X is negative 3, Healed, you're good with how we got that? Yeah, love it. X plus 3 equals 0. Subtract 3 from both sides. Here we go. If X is negative 3, Dar, we do not need to show all this work every time. So let's do a little bit more mental math, you guys. What would negative 9 times negative 3 get me? 27 plus that 9. 36. So over here, I'm good with just saying 36. You guys, if I had a negative 3 minus 3, again, what I'm doing is I'm putting that negative 3 right here, and right here. You guys, if I put a negative 3 right here, how many A's do I have? Negative 6 A's. How many B's do I have?
0.
None. That's our whole point. So therefore, what's A?
Probably like negative 6.
Perfect. So, you guys, my final answer. Again, they said, well, can you decompose this madness into something? You go, yeah. I know my A is going to be negative 6. So I'm going to say negative 6. I'm putting negative 6 in for my A over X plus 3. I'm just plugging in my negative 6 here. And I'm going to add my B, which was a negative 3, over my X minus 3. You guys, if we went through the process of adding these two fractions that have not common denominators, if we got common denominators and added these up, guess what that would equal? What we started with. We decomposed what we started with into these two partial fractions. Again, you'll see this in 1152. What did I do on number 2 that's not as helpful as I did on number 1? I already had it factored in number 1. I'll go factor number 2. We can do this, toot or o-toot. We got to toot that. You guys, what is going to multiply to be negative 2, add to be 1? I disagree. Yeah. He says 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 2 plus negative 1 is 1. Appreciate you, Brady. So you guys, I haven't changed my problem at all, but we do need to factor it to see what those denominators are. The reason we've got to do that is because we got to say what over one of those fractions and what over the other factor. Now, if Dow put y minus 1 under here and y plus 2 over here, that's fine. We're going to get the same answer in the end. Okay, you guys, what are we going to multiply every single thing by, especially this guy, to get rid of his denominators? Curfy, I appreciate you. Y plus 2, y minus 1, boom. If I gave Curfy 200 points, I got to give everybody 200 points. So I'm going to multiply all of them by y plus 2 and y minus 1. Does that take care of my other denominators? Will they cancel out? Oh, thank goodness, because we do not want to do all that crazy distributing. So when I distribute this, do you agree that we got y plus 2 is gone, y minus 1 is gone, and what am I left with? 8y plus 7? Yeah. What about over here? My y plus 2's cancel, and I'm left with don't distribute it.
Oh, 8 times y minus 1.
What? It'd be a times y minus 1, right?
I said 8.
Here we go. What am I left with? B times, thanks, B times y plus 2. Now, this is where the fake math comes in. We've got so many variables, Daria. You get the freedom, in order for us to solve for A and B, we got to figure out how to get rid of my A's. When is y minus 1 going to equal 0? That's 1. I'm going to set it up. We're going to have y is 1. What else are we going to make y? Negative 2. I'm going to put that like on the other side, though, so that I've got some space. Here we go. If y is 1, what's 8 times 1? 8 plus 7 is
15.
15. So I'm going to have 15 equals, how many A's?
0.
I don't even have to write it. How many B's?
3.
So 15 equals 3 B's. I got that by plugging it in, plug it in, plug it in. What's my B?
A quick 5 piece.
5. You guys, what if I plug in a negative 2?
You're so silly.
8 times negative 2 is negative 16 plus 7.
Negative 9.
Thank you. Negative 9 equals, how many A's would I have?
Thanks, Jaden. Negative 3.
Negative 3 A's. How many B's would I have?
0.
None. A is? 3. Guys, that's it. We did it.
Wait, is this the same thing you did yesterday?
So the reason I can't do 5 for B is if I plugged in a 5 for B, I would have 7B over here, right? 5 for Y. Did you say 5 for Y?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I'd have 7 B's and I'd have 4 A's, so I wouldn't have gotten rid of a variable. Sound good? You guys, my final answer, I just need to make sure I put B, 5 where B is, and I got to go make sure I put 3 where A is. So my final answer is going to be 3 over Y plus 2 and 5 over Y minus 1. If we added those up, did I mess that up?
No.
All good? If I got these two, when I add them together, would have gotten me what I started with. We decomposed a fraction into 2 partial fractions. What's my progression? I factored it for you.
And then you 2.
We did 2, and now I'm going to make you do, but at least it's the last problem of the day. Here we go. We got to O-toot. O-T-O-O-T.
Somebody just do this by myself.
Go. What multiplies to be 3 adds to be negative 4? Negative 3 and negative 1? You down with that? Negative 3 times negative 1 is 3? Okay. Bring down that 3y squared. Replace my negative 4y with a negative 3y and a minus 1y. I know. O2's the worst. Just takes a lot of time. What are we grouping? What's coming out of that first group?
It's going to be a 3 boy.
It is. Wow. What's left, guys?
I'm just such a goofy man.
What's left?
1.
Nope. Y. Thank you. You guys, is that close to a negative y plus 1?
Oh, yes.
It's pretty close. What do we got to do? Exactly. So if I take out a negative 1, when I distribute that, would I get what I had before? Negative y, negative times negative is a positive 1. So I feel good about that. So you guys, let's rewrite my problem. On top, I had a negative 4y over. What are we going to put in the bottom? Yes? Perfect. 3y minus 1 and a y minus 1.
Are you proud?
Okay, you guys, we know that that big fraction can decompose into something over one denominator, 3y minus 1, and something else over the other denominator, y minus 1. What are we going to multiply every single thing by?
That was a sweet catch. Y minus 1. Y minus 1.
Thanks to everything.
What?
Don't I have negative 4y left?
Yeah.
Wow. We got negative 4y left. What about over here?
That's just cap.
A times,
4 y minus 1.
yep, and B times,
3 y minus 1.
yeah. Funky step. What is my y going to be here?
A y.
My y is going to be 1, right? So when I chose a 1 because that's what's going to make this quantity 0. When I plug a 1 in right here, what would I get? Negative 4 equals no a's and 3 times 1 minus 2. How many b's? 2 b's. Final answer? Beautiful, Margie.
Beautiful, Margie.
This is a little uglier. So as Charlie brought up before, we got y equals 1 because we set y minus 1 equal to 0. That's how we got that. What am I going to get over here if I've got to set 3y minus 1 equal to 0? Gross. This one's gross. What'd you get, Sammy? Yeah, add 1 to both sides, divide by 3. My y is going to be 1/3.
That's disgusting.
If y is a third, people, we can do this. What's negative 4 times a third? Perfect. Back operator, stop talking. What's 1/3 minus 1 or 1/3 minus 3/3?
Negative 2/3.
Yes, very good. Brady.
That's
People right here. 3 times a third gets me 1 minus 1 is 0. I've got no b's. You guys, what am I going to do to solve for a here? Dividing by negative 2/3 is exactly the same as multiplying by negative 3/2 or 3 seconds, whatever you want to say. Dividing by negative 2/3 is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal.
So it's going to be 2. The answer's 2.
So when I cross these out, I'm left with an a equals 12 divided by 6 is 2. Agreed.
Wait,
Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12 over 6. You guys, what's my final answer going to read? I got to make sure that I go plug in 2 for my A, and I got to go plug in, negative 2 for my B. So I've got 2 over my 3y minus 1 and negative 2 over my y minus 1. Done. Guys, we've got 15 minutes. I want you to try the next 3 on your own. I'm putting the answers up for you. Single. Oh, all right. Here are the answers that you can just match to see if you got what I got. 4 over x minus 5.
oh.
You said that in every sentence, and then you get like.
Hey, you know what, guys? I'm not going to
You don't really like this unit. That's what you always say. I like this. I'm feeling good about this unit. I like this unit.
Yeah. I did the 8 and 24 for Cody. I don't like it.
These are my 3 answers. We get these done. We done.